Hello, it's me again, the weather observer from the Hong Kong Observatory. In the previous episodes, we introduced low clouds. In this episode, I'm going to introduce medium clouds. Let's begin. Cloud families are generally grouped into low clouds, medium clouds, and high clouds. I think the medium cloud family introduced in this episode is a very interesting family. No matter the name or the height of the clouds, there is a slight difference with the title of medium clouds. The family of medium clouds has three members, namely Altocumulus, altostratus, and nimbostratus. They aren't the highest among all clouds, but they have alto in their names, which means high. Sometimes there can be embarrassing moments, such as when someone says medium cloud altostratus. Medium? Alto? So is it a medium cloud or a high cloud? Nimbostratus is also a bit special. Usually we classify clouds as low, medium, and high according to their cloud base height. The cloud base of medium clouds is usually between 6,500 and 18,000 feet during heavy rain. But the cloud base of nimbostratus can range from the ground surface to 6,500 feet. The interesting part of medium clouds is that sometimes neither the names nor the cloud base height nicely match. So it's quite interesting. In order to avoid embarrassment by calling the clouds by their full name, weather observers usually call them by their abbreviations. So altostratus is called AS. Altocumulus is called AC. The medium cloud nimbostratus is called NS. I think observing medium clouds isn't as easy as observing low clouds, because low clouds are usually covering the medium clouds. So we can't observe the entire middle cloud all at once. Sometimes we can only see its features from the gap between clouds. Of course, I won't trick you. The medium clouds in this video won't be covered by many low clouds, so it's easier to see what they look like. The first cloud to be introduced is Altocumulus. Altocumulus is the easiest to distinguish and see among medium clouds, and it has more forms in the medium cloud range. So we'll talk more about the Altocumulus. The most commonly seen AC is the light gray to white cloud blocks, thin and spread widely and horizontally. The other type of AC is somewhat similar to the previous one. They're in separate patches, but not in blocks. More like small cottons in clusters, and the cloud base is a little broken. There is another type of AC. If I were to choose my favorite cloud, this would be in the top 10. It's lenticularis with an almond shape and a clear outline. The surface is as smooth as silk. Most of the time, they appear in one piece or a few pieces together, like a convex lens. Because of its shape, sometimes it's mistaken for a UFO, so it's commonly known as flying saucer cloud. The formation of lenticularis is a layer of relatively stable and moist air stream forced to rise by the hills, causing undulating wave motions. The rising air in the wave causes the moist air to cool down and becomes the lenticularis that we see. Castellanus, the castle-shaped AC, is a less common type of cloud than lenticularis. Their appearance is like towers with a common base. These features are especially evident when they're seen from a distance. AC also has other forms besides the one in pieces. As we can see in the photo, they're arranged like scrolls in parallel bands. We call it undulatus. They look like waves in the sky. AC is interesting. Not only can it be covered by low clouds, sometimes it's covered by itself. In some conditions, two layers of AC appear at the same time and overlap each other. There is another feature that I think is very important. AC has a characteristic, the light leakage. This light leak characteristic makes that the cloud amount can't be 8 octas. Contrary to AC, the cloud that can seamlessly, partly or totally cover the sky is altostratus. Altostratus, or AS, is a grayish or bluish cloud layer. The appearance is rather uniform, giving you a smooth and soft feeling. But sometimes it's fibrous. You can see some of the texture from the cloud base, and it can partly or totally cover the sky. The thick AS can completely cover the sun, while the thinner AS shows the outline of the sun, like the effect of the sun passing through frosted glass. Weather observers can see the shape of the sun with bare eyes directly. One important point is, AS does not cause a halo. AS has a characteristic. It's sufficiently translucent to light, but not to leak light. So when AS completely covers the sky, observers can report the cloud amount as 8 octas. The last type is the nimbostratus, or NS. NS is a gray and dark cloud layer, which often brings continuous rain. And it's thick enough to block out the sun. Ragged clouds frequently occur at its bottom. NS is one of the most challenging clouds to observe because it's rare to see the leading edge of NS, which is the front line where cold air and warm air meet each other. If you're lucky enough to see the leading edge of NS, like in this photo, you can see the uplifted warm air and precipitation behind the leading edge. Even an experienced weather observer can't identify NS immediately. It needs to have some circumstantial evidence to prove it's NS, such as the precipitation characteristic, which is persistent precipitation for a long time, and blocking out the sun by its thick cloud base, as well as the formation of cloud and rain due to the meeting of cold air and warm air. Only by observing the weather longer than usual can I confirm if it's NS. If you search nimbostratus on the internet, you can't confirm that it's NS from the photos alone. This is what I always say. To learn weather observation, you have to get experience personally by observing the weather on site. Not only watching with your eyes, but also listening with your ears. You may also have to feel how heavy the rain is and how long it's been raining. You have to understand that just watching my videos and my photos isn't enough. Go and observe the weather yourself. See you next time.